RFID tags are a powerful tool to integrate physical asset management into the digital world. Today, we're going to show you how to integrate RFID-capable devices using ZEBRA devices into your Framework Markup Language app in a matter of minutes. Let's get started. First, you'll need a copy of Framework Markup Language on your chosen file server and an installed version of the engine on your ZEBRA device. You can get our version from the Google Play Store, the iOS Store, our downloads folder at fml.dev, or compile your own. Connect your endpoint where your templates are being hosted to the Framework Markup Language application. Now let's build the UI. We add the tags, remove these extras, and let's give it a theme. This isn't necessary, but I like the dark theme. Next, let's display some text. Give it a style. There are a lot of styles to choose from. You can see each on our documentation. And now let's choose a widget to display our RFID tags in. Because RFID tags come back as multiple resources, we're going to choose a list. A list is always driven from a data source, and let's give it some padding to pad the items, and every list gets an item. For a data-driven list, each item is going to represent one piece of data held in the Datasource widget. Let's put in another piece of text, and in that text, we're going to display a value, and let's display a button, and that's all we need for the UI. This UI is going to display nothing in the list because we're not connected to our data source yet, and this is what it's going to look like. Now for the easy part, let's connect to the ZEBRA widget, give it an ID of ZEB1, give it a mode of RFID. That way, if our device is barcode enabled, we always scan for the RFID tags, and that's all we need. Now, if we examine the documentation on the wiki, under the hardware data source section, we have the ZEBRA widget. So let's go to the RSSI and let's get the EPC code as well. So back in our template, we're going to display in squiggly brackets as a binding data.epc, and let's also display the RSSI so we can see how close we are, data.RSSI. And this is all we need to display a list of RFID codes, and these RFID codes will be ordered by signal strength, which is RSSI in the list. Now, if we want to lock in on one of these tags, we can lock in by the EPC code and the RSSI. So to do that, we're going to use the button. When we press the button, we're going to first clear the list. That way, we only have the tag we're looking for appear in the list. We're then going to call zeb1.track. In this track, we're going to bind to data.epc, which is the EPC code scoped to this item in the list. And we can't forget to give data to the list, which is an ID of zeb1. And remember, that list is going to be built from every data row in the ZEBRA widget or in any data source widget. And that's all we need. Now you can see when we click the Find Tag button, it locks in on the code. And as we move closer, we can differentiate how close we are to the code based on other areas. Now we can add a little bit of pizzazz to this. Give a border, pad, and a margin to the item. And let's give it a border color. Now, to indicate that the tag's been found, let's turn this into an evaluation. So let's say border color data.RSSI is greater than -48. And -48 is just a number where you're quite close to the tag. So you can choose this based on your application. If you're within a foot of each tag, you're going to have an RSSI of around 60. If you're within a few inches of each tag, you're going to have an RSSI between 40 and 48. And it doesn't generally go below 35. Green. Otherwise, and let's add the same thing to here, and let's just say null so it maintains the theme color. So we go back in, give it a scan, and let's choose this tag here. So let's try and find it, getting closer, and we can see it's this guy right here. So we actually have an RSSI of 30. Remember, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome tutorials. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions or want to see more ZEBRA tips and tricks. Stay tuned for our ZEBRA RFID video and more videos covering Framework Markup Language widgets.